Good evening everybody and welcome to Sim Racing Bible for another live stream on a Saturday evening. I hope you're all doing well. It's great to have your company this evening. Tonight we are going to be jumping into Automobilista 2 once again. Fans of the channel will know that we are big advocates for historic motorsport and we love everything to do with historic racing, whether it's cars, tracks, whatever. And usually with historic motorsport you tend to use the older, more classic, legendary cars and race them on whatever circuits. Mostly they tend to be the modern versions of those particular circuits. Whereas today we are jumping in a time machine because we're going to reverse that role and take some of the most modern cars we have in Automobilista 2 and take them back in time to drive on some of the earliest versions of some of the circuits in Automobilista 2. So, super excited to give this a try because we've not given this a go yet. So, yeah, let's jump ourselves into the sim now and get ourselves up and running with our first combination for this evening. So, here we go. Let me get myself in here as well. And here we are. So, first things first. So, we're going to do a little bit of kind of a salute to the riser way of doing things in terms of looking at the Brazilian side of things. We're going to do the latest iteration of the Brazilian stock cars. And we're going to take it to Jacaré Historic 1988 server. So circuit, shall I say. So this is going to be new stocks versus old Brazilian circuits. So let's load in. Funky evening, welcome along. Pasonic, hiya, welcome. Good to see you. Darwin's here as well. Hello, great to have you with us this evening. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for tuning in. You know, we're back again. It seems like we're like we've not stopped since the last one, but it's been a week. So yeah, I hope you're all doing well. And super excited for doing this. What we're going to do, start off, we're just going to do some driving on the circuit just to kind of see what the car's like on the track, see how well it works with the historic layouts. We may throw in some races as well, just for a bit of fun. So here we go. Let's go on track now. So the V8 stock cars. Oops, better get my gloves on. First things first. Frank's here. Welcome, Frank. Says just in time to hear you butcher Jack. Sorry. I should learn how to pronounce it properly. Jacaré, I don't know, maybe. Right, V8s. Let's unleash it. So this is the historic version, which we've driven Jacaré a few times on the stream, mostly in its more recent version. I understand this circuit is no longer a thing anyway, so pretty much all versions of it on AMS2 are historic, but this is the oldest version of this particular circuit. So freezing cold tires, let's go get some temperature in them. Now this particular layout is different to the ones that we have run in the past. They have got some elements which should be familiar, but there'll be some things we need to learn as well. Being an 80s circuit, like we've seen with 80 Spa-Francorchamps here in AMS2, you have the quite large curbs to deal with, so you need to stay off those if we can. First off, just trying to learn this circuit because I haven't driven this very much. When I say very much, I mean maybe 1 or 2 laps. So this is a new experience for me as well. So. But I do love the circuit, I love the view on the back. I mean, there's so many great circuits that you can drive on AMS2 which have excellent views around the circuit. This is one of those. So, first corner here, well, this big long left-hander is quite familiar. Slightly different profile to how we've driven in the past, and that's a much more open corner, and then you're instantly into this left. So that's been reprofiled in the more modern variants of the circuit. So we're very much easing in gently to our new versus old action this evening, so it will get crazy, I promise. So this bit we kind of are vaguely familiar with. This is our final hairpin, essentially. And up and over the line we go. So Kevin, welcome Kevin, says good evening. I think they built the buildings for the Olympic Games where this circuit used to be. Ah, is that right? Ah. That's a shame. they have to make way for a different type of sporting event when you couldn't just keep the heritage and continue with the motorsport side of things. But that's okay. It's just how things go sometimes, I suppose. There's that curb. That's why we need to avoid them, because it's a fair old whack when you hit one of those. Whoa. Come on, Phil. A little rusty here. Yeah, Funky said, I'm not sure I've run this layout either. No, it's not one that you would naturally gravitate towards, I don't think. It's going to take some time for me to get my bearings in here as well as to how quickly we can go through some of these corners, and also get used to the stock car again, because it's been a while since I've driven this and it's got a little bit of an art to it to try and get this thing around the circuit without rotating too much. So we'll keep going and see what we do. Marty's here. Welcome, Marty. With a very fast left-hander, get it slowed down. So this one, rather than being quite a constant radius left-hander as it is in the modern variant, it's got like a kind of eases off and then tightens again, so that section comes up at you much quicker. I was tempted to almost caught that curve on the inside, but managed to miss it by probably an inch. Alright, tyres are warming up, so grip is slowly becoming available. So what's the aim of the game for this evening then? Why are we doing new cars versus old circuits? Well, you know, here at SimRacing Bible, we tend to do things a little bit differently. We don't just stick with the regular norms of sim racing, so we like to try new things and to experiment and have fun with it. So that's the idea of this evening. It's just to have a bit of fun. You can watch along, have a laugh at me with my inability to get around this particular circuit or even pronounce it, as Frank says. So it's all about having fun this evening. I'm sure it will be a good laugh, and I'll try and make it as fun for you guys as possible. I think once I've got myself more familiarised with the circuit layout, we might add some extra cars into the mix. Sometimes that helps with actually learning the circuit, because you have someone you can follow, but big lock up into this slow left-hander. This is the challenge we're going to be in for all evening, is the larger curves just causing havoc with some of these lower, more low-slung modern cars that we're going to be running this evening. Now, of course, most of the time you would run these historic circuits with relevant historic machinery, because one, it's better for realism, and historic machinery is just fun anyway, so that's one of the main reasons why you do that. So you wouldn't necessarily look at some of these old circuits like the old Hockenheim or old Monza, for example, and go, yeah, you know what, I want to take one of the modern F1 cars around there. You know, it's not necessarily the first thing you think of doing, so we're going to see what that's like this evening. Up and over the curbs. Starting to kind of get more and more to grips with it all. But here we go, down towards turn 1 again. So we are improving our lap time every time, but that's unsurprising considering how shocking we've been up until this point. So let's try and lower that lap time even more. Quite a tricky corner, that one. It's almost, you go in mid-track and then the curb starts pretty much halfway around there, so you have to aim for that. So that's a little bit of a lift through there just for confidence, and then hard on the brakes once again. And again, just locking that brake. See, Gaz, you just... That was for you, Gareth. That's why haven't you crashed yet? Just to prove a point, you just come in there and tell me, and I'll do it for you on demand. No problem. Okay, let's add some more cars to the mix, shall we? Let's do that. Let's go for a bit of a race and see how we get on. Probably disastrous, but we'll have fun anyway. All right, so let's go back to a single race then, and we will go find the circuit. Where is it? Here it is. We want the 88 version. We're not going to do any practice. We don't need that, so we can save that. What are we going to do? Let's do a quick 5-lap race around here. I think too strenuous to ease our way into the evening. Okay, right. That's the 2020 cars. We want the 2022 cars. Right. That should be that. Let's make sure we got the right opponents on, which we do. We're going to be starting from last position because we like a challenge. And yeah, so here we go. Let's see how we get on. Not quite milk float style, 2 out of 10. Yeah, I know, it wasn't quite as committed as the milk float, I will admit. That's that took extra special skill, that one did. Kevin's, yeah, you got your new quick release, didn't you, Kevin? The annoying clunks are a thing of the past. That's excellent news. There's nothing worse than trying to enjoy your sim racing, but you're just getting distracted by noises and you're just like, oh, that's not going to break or whatever. Yeah, it's always great to have those little distractions taken away. Okay, so 25 cars, including ourselves, on the grid. So let's see how many cars we can pick off as we go through this particular race. Only 5 laps, so not a huge amount of time to make progress, but let's see where we can get up to. Rolling start here, just to minimise some of the chaos, and away we go. They're all over the curves on the outside. That's a good opportunity for us to get a run up the inside here. Remember the boost, says Frankie. Yeah, absolutely. I can't remember if I've got it mapped, but we will soon find out. Ooh. Bit of a wobble. We're in 2x2 into turn 2. Let's see if we can use this to sneak up the inside of the 54 car, maybe, just about. Feed the power in nicely, and away we go. So on the face of things, obviously this is essentially a historic version of the track, but you could be looking at this saying, well, it doesn't look too dissimilar from the rest of the Brazilian circuits which these cars race on, so there's not really a huge difference in terms of what you'd be expected to see with these cars. So, wow, hello, all over the curbs. But yeah, it's still, you know, true to form. This is not quite the most current version of the circuit. Okay, on the brakes then, let's try and work our way through here. They're quite large, the stock cars, so trying to find your way through and find a gap can be a bit of a challenge. He very kindly gave us some space then, even though I hit the curb and was bouncing towards him. Okay, well, we've somehow managed to round him up. Let's go. Next, we're up to P22. They're definitely not afraid of using the curbs, that's for sure, the AI cars. Let's use a nice inside line into the hairpin, there we go. Feed the power in nice and gentle. Again, let's have a bit of a momentum loss with going up on the curbs there, so we'll gladly take that opportunity. Right, turn 1 again. End of lap 1 essentially. Let's see, can you do an outside move around here? Not quite. Yeah, they're going to run off in the curves on the outside there, so it's never going to work too well. Okay, good run on the inside then, and we've also got up and alongside the white car. Ooh, he did turn in on us though. Wow, launching it on the curbs. This time into the hairpin without locking the brake, which is nice. So, let me see if I got the boost working. Which one is it? Is it that one? There we go. Boost is on. So, of course, being the push-to-pass system on the stock cars, which are try and aid overtaking. You do have to be prepared to get woed up a little bit earlier if you need to on the end of the long straight with all the extra power available. Down into the next left-hander. Ooh, I'm getting some stuttering going on, but we're working through it. Personic, thank you so much for the £5. That is super, super kind of you. It says, have a beer on me. I don't drink, but I will certainly put that towards some worthy cause. Thank you so much for your kindness. That is really, really good of you. Right, here we go. Let's line up this one. Let's get a move down to turn 1. Already on to lap 3 now. Let's see if we can get into the top 15. Bit of a block past the hot air balloons on the outside there, looking very cool. For some reason I've only just noticed those. Whoa! Saved it. Alright, phew, we're through. What's it? The sills are going to be absolutely smashed to pieces by the time we get back to the pit lane. But as far as the circuit's concerned, it does race quite well. You can have a good battle around here. Okay, can we use the button again? It's recharging. It's almost ready to go again by the looks of things. Yeah, okay, so next lap. Oh, don't get stuck on the marbles. Okay, thankfully we didn't run off there. It's so easy to get stuck in a bit of a mesmerised state as you're following other cars quite closely. It's easy to just follow them and not really see where you're going. You're just reliant on what the car ahead's doing you, so you've got to pay attention, you've got to keep your eyes up, focused ahead. Okay. Another spot position gained. We're up to 15th now, and we've got more cars that we can work on, so let's see if we can edge our way towards the top 10. Let's use the push to pass down the main straight. Didn't do anything, he actually pulled away if anything. Maybe he was using it too, you never know. Not quite sure how much extra horsepower you get when you use the push to pass. I should have checked that out, but it should be a significant amount just to help with overtaking, so get off that curb, Phil. Sometimes you get yourself out of rhythm and it gets a little bit rough and scrappy. Just gotta relax, bring it back into line again and just regather your thoughts and lunge into the hairpin. Okay, P14. The guys ahead have got away a little bit, we need to catch up with them. Got the end of this lap and one more. Drag the brake just a little bit. Trying to get that thing stopped. It looking like I was going to wander off track for a moment there, but we managed to keep it in bounds. Uh-oh, not this time. Hold him off. Miraculously, everybody, we managed to keep our position. No idea how that happened. It's a bit of a feisty thing, this stock car, it really is. It's a handful. Alright, and breathe. Final lap then, let's see what we can do. We are sitting in P14, they're having a bit of a battle ahead, so maybe we can use that to our advantage potentially. As long as we keep everything nice and tidy for this final lap. There we go. It's already kicking off. Let's get the sense that there may be a couple more positions available before the end of this one. Lap time's getting quicker as well, which is nice. Getting more and more used to the circuit now. Right, now we're right with them, but of course they're going to go side by side, so that completely ruins our chances into the hairpin. We can get a run off the corner though. Engage the push to pass. Whoa. Well, that's 2 spots gained. Any chance for any more? There's 2 more ahead, which will get us into the top 10, but going to be a bit of a push to get there. No, I think they've got this in the bag. We are pretty close, but just run out of laps. Maybe. Yep. And then quickly up and over the line. P12 finish on that one, so yeah, 12th position, not bad from the back of the grid. And the circuit drives quite well, so yeah. And again, it's quite similar to what you'd expect to find in the stock car series anyway, so not too dissimilar, but nice, gentle easing into our activities for this evening. So Frankie says, I would drive this more, speaking of the stock car, but the poor front visibility puts me off a bit. The dash is quite big, isn't it? You can't really see too much out of... You obviously got the pillar on the left-hand side there. I don't find it too bad, though. It's not the worst for visibility. But, yeah, it's what it is. But, yeah, it's quite a fun little car to drive. I want to say little, it's quite a big car. Right, let's go back to our test day moments and move on with our next opportunity. So we need another suitably modern vehicle to try next. So how about we run some GT3 or GTE, which is something we don't tend to do very much on the channel. So we'll do some GTE, I think. There's only really one option for car I can see on that page. So we're going to run the 911 GTE, the RSR. And so what we can do on the track selection is you can actually filter it by historic grade, so you have all the historic circuits available to you. So where should we go for this one? I was saying in the description we might take this to the 1977 edition of Hockenheim, which is the original super fast layout into the forest with only a couple of chicanes to break things up, not too many. And they're quite quick chicanes too, so let's do that. So again, just going to do a couple of laps just on our own, and then we'll throw some other cars into the mix as well. So here we go, driving this beautiful RSR. So easily one of the best sounding GT cars of modern era. And yeah. And I think a lot of people probably prefer the old version of Hockenheim to the new one. I'm kind of, as I mentioned on the channel before, I'm quite happy with either. I quite like the new layout, and I obviously like the old layout for nostalgia purposes and just the pure speed of the place. So it'd be interesting to see what this modern GT car is like to drive around here. Obviously it's going to be a bit of a flat-out blast most of the time, so let's see how we go. So Marty said, a recent multi-community AMS2 race, Verizon offered a key to full AMS2, all DLC, full season pass and beta build access and a beta forum access. Nice. That's cool. That's a good prize. But why would that be a prize if they're already running AMS2? Surely they already have AMS2. Interesting. The Sonic says, this is my favourite track. Ah, excellent. Good stuff. Right. Just listen and enjoy the beautiful sounds of the 911 RSR. Alright. So with the historic versions of these circuits, you have the vintage and classic signage around the circuit. Obviously the pit building's a little bit more basic, as is pit lane exit. which comes straight out onto the pretty much the apex of turn 1. This puts a huge smile on your face every single time you drive this car. Beautiful. Oh, for the viewers of the race, okay, that makes more sense, Marty. Yeah, no, that does make a lot more sense. That's a really cool prize, though. That's awesome. Right, down to the first chicane. Again, just feeling our way in. I like the first chicane on this layout. It's just so smooth and just flowing through there. It's brilliant. So Frank says, Kevin, oh, this is about the quick releases, so I hope one of the emerging brands like Moza come up with a part that ships worldwide at half price. Yeah, there's some expensive components, aren't there, sometimes. So this is the tail end of the Hockenheim circuit, which is just a really fast flowing right-hander. No chicane on this particular version, and we're straight back down towards the second of the chicanes, which is also quite a quick and flowing one. Brake about 150, and then flick it through there. So good. So Marty says, I think I'm close to closing on selling my farm, so DD and Simrig will be purchased soon. Yay! Oh, excellent. That's good news. Hopefully you're going to be able to get what you are looking for the farm. Hopefully your housing market is a little bit more stable than it is over here at the moment. I believe it's a little bit chaotic in the UK. So quick through the stadium sections, there's so much grip. So here we go then. Let's do a bit more of a flying lap here of Hockenheim in the RSR. Just a great opportunity just to let the thing just pull away and just keep accelerating through the gears. It's just so good. Okay, down to the chicane. For me, that's a much nicer chicane than the bus stop at Daytona. Just for a comparison between modern and historic there. It's just, it's the opposite direction, but it's still just, I don't know, really good. Let's drop one gear for that. At the end, wow, you could... I wonder if we can... I wonder if we can take that flat. We'll have to try that. We'll probably end up crashing, so we'll give it a go. All over the curbs. You can actually use these ones. So much is a great time to sell, not so much finding housing afterwards. Ah, okay. Makes things a bit tricky then. Man, there's just so much grip. This is so good. This is a wonderful circuit. And obviously normally you'd be sliding all sorts of historic Formula 1 cars or classic GT cars or whatever around here. And that's equally as fun, but with something like this which has got so much aero and mechanical grip as well, it's actually just as fun, because a lot of these corners are very quick, so you literally just hang on the whole time. Like through here, I mean, watch this. Absolutely love it. So Marty says, living in my car is kind of like being in a sim rig, right? Yeah. Yeah, kind of. Right. No, it does require a brake. I bailed out. But it's very fast, that corner. get to brake quite late here. Maybe a little bit too late, but got away with it. Braking just as the tarmac extends on the left hand side there. It's probably about the right point. You almost forget you have to do corners with being flat out for so long around here. That's also the thing, you tend to get yourself in a bit of a mental routine when you're driving some of these circuits for the first time in a modern car, because you almost pre-program your brain. So for example, the last two corners there, you're used to going through them reasonably quickly in a historic car, and then kind of partway through you're almost just kind of expecting to have to come back off the throttle a little bit just to kind of balance the car, because you're going to have some oversteer going through there, because historic cars tend to do that anyway. So going through there with the RSR, I'm going into that second bit, I'm like, I've got to back off because I'm going to oversteer, but I can't because I have loads of grip and I don't need to, so it's just kind of odd to try and reprogram yourself doing that. So yeah, that's good. Right, let's throw some other cars at it and go with that. Let's make this one a multi-class one actually. Let's put some DPIs on board as well and see how we get on. But that's really cool. I like the combination. Because again, you know, you can't go back and have historic motor racing festivals on old tracks because they just simply either aren't there anymore, or they've been flattened or changed or modernized and things. So it's great to be able to go back and revisit. That's the beauty of sim racing, isn't it? You can just go back and experience these old circuits which used to be. Okay, let's go and get back in our RSR. We'll do multi-class. We'll clear those off there. So we'll have DPIs and we'll have GTE. And save that. So we will go player middle this time. And need to change the circuit, obviously. Hockenheim, go down to the bottom, 77. Okay, let's load in and see how we get on. So Funky says, yeah, I've taken the 74 RSR around here many times. Need to try this one. Yeah. I know you love your 74 RSR, which is typical. That's the kind of car you would take around this particular track, because that's, you know, that's what you do. It's a 70s track, it's a 70s car. Makes sense. So, yeah, there's no real reason why you'd go, oh, I got the 77 version of Hockenheim, I'm going to take out a modern GT car around there. It's just not necessarily your first go-to, which is why we're doing this evening, just for some fun. Right, so, split grid of DPIs and GTEs. We're in the middle of it all. So, yeah, all the best. Let's see if we can survive. So, Frank says, Marty, I've learnt to be flexible with regards to housing situation. That's the girlfriend. Once they have taken a step back in living standards, you have about 3 months left with them. Oh, I'm sure it'll be better. I'm sure it'll be fine. Right, here we go then. A couple of big BMW M8s ahead of us, blocking the road. Our line's a little bit slow around the outside of the Sachs curve there. Alright, so as it's going to be quite a quick race, and the DPIs are going to be very fast as well, let's see if we get some lappery involved, but here we go. Unleashed down to the first corner. Full field of modern GT and sports cars. Let's just take it nice and steady through there just to avoid any carnage. And we're happily on our way down towards the first chicane. We're just going to sit ourselves in the middle of the circuit here just to solidify our position. Keep an eye on what this M8 is going to do Everyone's going to jump on the brakes a little bit early for the chicane here. Not quite as committed as you would get further on in the race. Once you've got cars in front of you, which makes braking point spotting that little bit harder. So we've managed to get down the inside of that M8, so that's good. You really feel it load up through there when you turn in. A couple of flashes as people get on the brakes because they're getting too close to the car ahead. Oops. Okay, kept it straight. Worst thing to do in situations like that where you end up on the grass is to panic and start turning the wheel to try and get yourself back on track as quick as possible, because that's when you end up spinning. So best thing to do is just be calm, keep the wheel as straight as possible, no sudden movements on either the wheel or your throttle, or brakes for that matter. And then just try and ease yourself back onto the circuit in a calm manner. Whoa, big twitch. Unconventional pass on the M8, sorry about that. Amazing run through turn 1. A bit of bump drafting down the straights here, shall we? There we go. A little bit of a nudge. Now he's going to defend on the inside, but I'm going to take the nice clear line on the outside. Whoa! Managed to keep his place. So the M8 used to be faster, says Funky. Have they nerfed it a bit? I don't know. It seems to be pretty well balanced with the 911 at the moment. Oh, they're committed going into there. But they've slowed down for the exit. I had to get off the throttle just to make sure he didn't rear end him again. Wow, big hip and shoulder from the two M8s in front of us. You guys continue messing around with each other and I'll try and clear you if that's okay. Don't mind me. Are we actually going to make this work? That's the big question. Looks like we have. Right, let's go after this Porsche. Defensive into turn 1, so that open him up for a bit of an attack on the exit, possibly. The howl of that beautiful engine. Let's get down the inside of him this time. No bump drafting needed. Right, how late do we brake for the chicane? Not late enough. Going almost 3 wide for the lead of the class ahead of us by the looks of things. Alright, again, he's going to be super committed into here. We just need to carry the speed through and hopefully... we're too far back to make a run into the chicane. We'll have to wait for the stadium section, I reckon. It's so good because the car just feels so tight. I mean, you can just make it do whatever you want to make it do. Ooh, need turned in and end up having a bit of a wobble mid-corner. Still contesting it on the inside as well. Oops. Okay, right, we're through. We're up to P4. Penultimate lap coming up. Missed the apex by country mile, but still on track, that's the main thing. So... oh, they BOP'd the M8 have they, Frank? Yeah, that makes sense. But it's not got the legs when it comes to a straight line contest. We've got 911s and the Corvette up front, and all the M8s have been dropping back. There's not much to it, but that's one of the most fun corners on the circuit, I reckon. What are you lot going to do here? Try and pick up the pieces, but end up running off myself. So RF2 is on low fuel motorsports, drawing a lot of drivers in its testing phase. Yeah, I have seen a lot of people have been going over and giving it a go. It's a shame that, for whatever reason, with the stability of servers, AMS2 wasn't pursued any further, but I'm sure at some point it will be on there, and that can only really help, I suppose, in getting more people to come onto the title. But in the meantime, we'll just keep doing what we do and trying to show just how good AMS2 really is, and hopefully more people will come join us online for our community races and things and get the bug and come back for more. No space. Okay, well that's the Corvette done. Let's see what we can do with this 911 now. We know from experience that braking for these corners is not our strongest point. Neither is getting through them in 1P. Oh, that was always going to end badly, wasn't it? Alright, never mind. But that was fun. I really enjoyed that. That was a really good kind of battle, and just driving these modern GT cars around there. Even though there's not an awful lot to do in terms of actual driving, there's not many corners to worry about. But it's a really fun driving experience. What's going on here? How far back has this gone? Why are we not... There we are. Get to enjoy some beautiful sounds with the 911. But yeah, even though there's not many corners, driving a modern GT car around here is actually really fun. As mentioned, the downforce, the grip levels means you can just take so much speed through the corners. Look at that lot, that's just insane, isn't it? All of them barreling into the chicane. Just helping the groundskeepers with their grass cutting. What a noise. Right. Okay. So, historic Hockenheim, modern GT cars. What else? What else can we do? Let's have a look and see what other historic circuits we can take a more modern kind of race car to. So, I guess next up, let's find ourselves a suitable vehicle. So, let's find a modern car. So, we could obviously run the DPI. That's quite modern. I think what we're going to do is we'll run some GT4 cars. We haven't run the Merc here for a little bit, so we'll run the Merc. We'll do some GT4 racing, and let's go find a suitable historic track to take these to. So we've got Adelaide 88. We've done Hockenheim. There's Imola. What else have we got? We got the old Interlagos, which is the big long length of lap. I don't think Suzuka Classic is actually any different. I think it's just doesn't have the DRS points on it. Kyalami, I reckon, might be fun. We have Montreal 88, which is an old layout of Montreal. Alton Park's not really a historic layout, it's just missing the chicanes. We've got Silverstone 75, Spielberg as well, which is quite a fun track. I reckon we go take a look at Kyalami with the GT4 cars and see how we get on here. She says, might spin up Wreckfest later to get out some stress. That's a good idea. It's always nice to kind of just wash away your worldly worries with a bit of sim racing action or gaming, whatever it may be that helps you unwind. It's important. I don't know if you've seen in our social media this week, we put a post out on, it was Wednesday, I think it was, which was World Mental Health Day, which, sim racing can be a good help with mental health. It can also be a hindrance to mental health if you take it too seriously, end up getting burnt out, etc. So, if you are struggling with mental health for whatever reason, I just encourage you to just talk to someone, even if it's me. Just send me a message, and I'll message you back. But yeah, if anyone is struggling with mental health because of sim racing or in general, please do seek someone to talk it out with, and don't try and bottle it up, because that's when things get worse. Right, so GT4 at Kyalami. This is the latest addition to the GT4 lineup on AMS2, which is the Mercedes AMG GT. So let's go see how this goes. Last time we drove this was at Spa on the channel when it was first released, so it's good to revisit it again. So Frankie says this is one of my fave tracks for 60s and 70s F1 cars. Yes, it is very well suited to the historic F1 cars in AMS2, that's for sure. Right, down to turn 1 then. And this time we haven't got any kind of specific curbs, we just have kind of raised sections. They're not like regular curbs as you'd get we've just had at Hockenheim. This is very different kind of curbing. And again, curbs which need to be avoided. Quite a flowing circuit, the Kyalami circuit. And this is obviously one of the original layouts for Kyalami. You'll notice there are some sections which may look quite similar to the modern version. This is one of them. But as the circuit was changed and updated, it actually moves location a little bit. So rather than just building on the same site, they actually built some of the circuit a bit further off to the right. Oh, sorry, to the left, should I say? But yeah, you got elements of the current circuit in this one, but there's some sections which just aren't there at all. Obviously, the pit building section is completely different to what you'd normally see at Kyalami. So here we go, plunging downhill under the bridge down towards turn 1 in the Mercedes. Brake up the 3 board, I think. Down a couple of gears for this quick right-hander. Maybe we need to brake just a touch earlier. And this next corner is going to be taken nearly flat out, actually. It's not quite flat out. This one is. I need to screw off some speed for this corner here, which you would recognise potentially from the new version of Kyalami, which is the very fast downhill right, and then you're instantly into this left-hander. And then into this plunging downhill left-right section. One of the things that just defines these historic tracks are the lines that you see on them. So you have what look like road markings on the circuit. So the thing is, with historic circuits, most of the time they are either repurposing or making use of public roads as well, so you do tend to get that a little bit with the historic tracks. Not something you see today because you have proper smooth tarmac, which is purpose-built for motorsport. It's a tricky corner to get into, that one. We've had our first bot attack of the evening. Despite banning the last one, a new one's appeared. Thank you to Nightbot for sorting that one out for us. So this is quite a wide and fast circuit, so it looks quite slow when you're driving the GT4 cars. You are still doing a good amount of speed through some of these corners. But it just feels that little bit slower because of the expanse of the place. Let's try and get it slowed down for the final proper corner this time. Quite a difficult circuit in the historic F1 cars because they like to go sideways quite a lot, and yes, you can drift them through here quite nicely, but you do have those quite sharp curves on the outside, so if you do end up going a little bit too far out the back with the the rear of the car, you can end up just clipping and that'll just spear you off the other direction. And that was way too late for turn one. Okay, well, let's add some interest to this, shall we? Let's add some extra cars on track and see how we get on with racing through here. So a lot of you guys have been mentioning before the bot came in about things which help you unwind. So American Truck Simulator I saw on there, and Flight Sim as well. So yeah, it's good. Lots of things that can help take your mind off things. Right, let's go back in the Mercedes. Same class. And change it to Kyalami. There we go. And let's go. So I love the adverts on the historic tracks, says Marty. It's Interlagos especially. Yes, it's very cool, isn't it? I mean, I think that and Monza are probably the two most noticeable advertising boardings on the historic tracks. They just have these huge boards with vintage logos on them that look really cool. But yeah, it just adds to the whole kind of atmosphere of the place, doesn't it? So Funky says the bumps can ruin your day here as well in the old F1 cars. Yeah, it is a pretty bumpy track. It didn't seem too bad in the GT4, but then slightly more modern suspension as well. Right, so here we go then. Full grid of GT4 cars. We're starting P13. Mercedes is up in 7th, so that's our target. We've got to get up and beyond that car. Good split of cars all the way through the grid. So let's see. Once again, a rolling start. Wait for the green lights to come on. I anticipated it a little bit there, but we got a great jump on the field. So off we go. Down the front straight, which is where, unfortunately, Tom Price lost his life in F1 in a shadow. Local driver to me. He was based in Denbighshire area. There's this kind of a plaque statue thing in Ruthin, which is in memory of Tom, which is very, very cool. Big Camaro roaring away down the straights. Okay. Whoa, running a little bit deep there, but we're okay. GT4 racing often offers quite close action and overtaking opportunities, so with all the space available to us, people are going to take liberties like that. We still got the inside for the final corner here. Let's try and maintain our position here. Ginetta going for the curve on the inside. Oh, everyone's running a little bit deep into there as well. There's our Mercedes target we've got to go for, just ahead of this Ginetta. Oh, the Ginetta very kindly, I was going to say got out of the way, but it soon came back in our direction. There we go. rounding everyone up down the straight. Look at the Merc go ahead of us. He's just taken at least 3 or 4 cars down the front straight there. Oh, the M4 got a little bit out of shape in turn 1, as did the McLaren. Little dab of brakes just to make sure we're through here in one piece. And just hold on through there. Right, where are you guys going to go here? Just sit and watch for the time being. You go right, I'll go left. There we go. So, Kevin says, I struggled with the bumps at Long Beach. Yes, that is a very physical circuit, that one. AI upsetting their cars going over those bumps, so here we go. Gonna run on our Mercedes friend. So, hello Mercedes. I'll take the lead Merc crown, thank you very much. There we go. So Skoda, welcome Skoda, says that was a crazy crash, sad situation, yeah, about Tom Price, yeah, it was. It was very, very unfortunate. I believe a Marshall was killed too. I was leaving a fire extinguisher on the track. Okay, we've worked our way up into P3 here. Let's try and get on terms with the 2 leaders here. Ooh. Well, those 2 battling is gonna help us a little bit. Again, more hot air balloon action around the perimeter of the circuit here. That's the atmosphere. Don't know what I was thinking there. That was not the way through the last corner. No, the Mercedes got us again. Right, got to redress that. So Kevin says, I love the Long Beach circuit, but struggle with some cars and not good enough at setups to dial it out. Yeah, that's the thing with running at bumpy street circuits. They do demand a certain type of setup option. Yeah, just trying to soak up all those bumps to get the traction you need off the corners is the hardest part of setting up a car for Long Beach. Right, goal now is just to get back ahead of the Mercedes. You might not get the win, but if we can be the lead Mercedes home, that'll be good enough for me. Little friendly nudge in the back of the M4 then. Lots of elevation changes here at Kyalami on the old circuit and the new. There we go, we'll have that place back. So it's always fun when you've got a circuit with elevation change. It does make for a very fun drive as well. Okay, so just the one car between me and the Mercedes up into P5, so a top 5 finish coming up if we can hang on to it for this final lap, but I'd like to be able to get up to 3rd again if we can. It's ever so slightly a dab of the brakes or a lift to that right-hander. It's desperately not to try and going off the circuit here again. So, Kevin says, Phil, do you have much real-world track experience? Well, it depends how much you quantify as being much. I have some. If you're comparing with the likes of Lawrence Van Thor or Timo Bernhard or someone like that, and probably not so much, but for me, I have some. I have some track experience from racing karts and also my 205 GTI stock catch, which I had a fair while ago. We didn't manage to get the Merc, but we got 4th in the end, so that's all good. Alright. Good fun combo, works well. Yeah, I mean, it's tight around there with the GT4 cars. It's tight anywhere with the GT4 cars. It's always quite close together, but you can race quite nicely with them around there. That's quite a fun combo. Yeah, so I have had some real-world track experience. It's just as if Sarah would make a great video. Yeah, potentially. I have nothing to do any kind of real-world track experience with right now. Unless, of course, anyone was willing to offer me opportunity to go on track, which, of course, I would take. But currently I have no opportunity to do some on-track stuff, but I have done so in the past. I've driven on circuits before now. So yeah, it's good fun. Skoda says, nice time, by the way, in the time trial of the week for the BMW. Yes, I had a go at that the other day. That was fun. Buenos Aires in the M1 Pro car. Again, another flat-out blast of a track, that one. It's good. I think I slipped to 8th, I think, last time I checked. I was up in 3rd when I left, but more people have obviously set times. I think I've gone down. There's some good guys on there, that's for sure. Right. Let's say we kick things up a notch. Let's go to the pinnacle of modern single-seaterage and go with the Formula Ultimate Gen 2, which is the thumbnail car for this particular stream. And what about we take this to challenging circuit? It's not on the historic group by the looks of things for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. But let's go to Monza and see how it handles the full 1971 edition of Monza circuit with the banked oval as well. So we want the one with no chicane. That's the one we want. Right. So I'll select that. And let's see how we get on. Will the modern... Yeah, the downforce of the modern F1 car with the ground effects, will it deal with going around the banking with the bumps? Let's go find out. It's just good as saying about my time trial record, saying would like to say I'm happy for you, but jealous would be closest to the truth. Oh, don't be jealous. It's fine. I'm sure you could manage that as well. I'm sure you could. It was good. Marty says, thinking about getting the Insim Talento pedals. Pricey, though. Don't think I've come across those ones. Yeah, that's... Are they hydraulic, or are they load cell, or what are they? I wonder. Speaking of pedals, I'm not going to reveal anything just yet, but there's some very exciting news coming soon. That's all I can say. There's some very exciting news. Big news for me. Right. The Formula Ultimate then. The current 2022 specification regulations for Formula 1 with its reduction in downforce, but increased underfloor downforce, versus Monza, which on paper isn't really a problem because the regular circuit of Monza in its historic format is fine, but when you throw in the when you throw in the banking, who knows what will happen here. So let's see. Let's go out onto track and see how we get on. So wear two hands devices for this one, I reckon. Yes. Need one of those things. Have you seen those Frex head movement simulators? Crazy. Right, here we go. Straight out onto the banking. Huge angle through here. And lots of bumps in the joins in the concrete. This is the form of porpoising which F1 was not prepared for. flat out in 8th gear. Alright, into the next part of the banking. Shake all your fillings out. And a bit of a wobble to finish, but otherwise not too bad. That's the dangerous bit sorted. Now it's just onto the smoother sections of Monza. Phil getting new pedals, says Marty. Don't know. We'll have to find out. More reasons to be jealous. Sorry, Skoda. Ah, brakes. Not often required around here. Through the Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2. No, not quite flat for Lesmo 2. And then anchor that foot back on the throttle once again, and off we go. Scari is just a long corner with no braking required. And we're on our way down towards Parabolica with those huge wooden boards, as we've mentioned, for advertising. Right. The second and only other requirement for an application of brake pedal. And off we go again. So Marty's Kevin Bar with clutch and all around 1.1k US dollars. Wow. Yeah, they are a bit pricey. Well, considering the ferocity of the bumps around here, it's actually reasonably stable. I'm quite surprised. It's not too bad. It's quite a calm drive, really. You don't have to worry about it too much. You just turn in and hold on a little bit. I suspect it might be a little bit more nerve-wracking when you have other cars around you as well. You really do lose a fair amount of speed with all the grounding out over the bumps. Right. Well, before we go off and do a race with these cars, I want to do something else. I want to test something here, because it's reasonably straightforward in the drive. You can just keep it pinned, drive around there, hold on, no problems. What happens if you add in, I don't know, some moisture? And when I say some, we're adding lots. So we're going to do Monza 1971 with the banking in the high-spec F1 car in a storm, because we know how much Formula 1 cars get on well with wet weather. So this should be fine. This should be absolutely no problem. I can just carry on and just do like I did in the dry and just keep my foot flat down and have no problems. What is there to worry about? Absolutely nothing. Okay, here we go then. Early shower in the cockpit of the Formula Ultimate. Full wets on. I wonder whether there's going to be some standing water. Alright, let's see what's going to happen. Yep, there's definitely some puddles down on the bottom of the banking. You can see there's a bit of water at the top of the banking as well. Oop. This is inconceivable. If F1 can't run in the wet, that's Suzuka. This would just be a complete cancellation. Whoa! Bit of wheel spin just before we get into the banking. Notice how much slower we're going around here as well. Ooh. Okay, that's a little bit more involved. Things calm down now, that's good. On the spot. Whoa! That was not quite what you need at that speed. Rear end is lighting up. I can't really see what I'm looking at here. Oh, there's a big channel of water down that side. Where's the corner? There it is. Okay, this is definitely more of a challenge. This is what we want. A little bit of a test. Oh, is there going to be a big standing water underneath the bridge? Oh, a massive puddle on the inside there. So, people asking Marty what DD and rig he's going to put together with his in-sim pedals. Fork of lightning in the distance, just to remind us we are in a thunderstorm. So Marty says your tailbone would be dust after a few laps. Yeah, it would be. You wouldn't last long. You can still have, still keep it flat around there, but you do have to think about it a little bit more. Ooh, there's a touch of the wall. Bit of a sheen on the road there as well. Noah edition, yeah. Get my boat out. Sonic says, good job you have paddles on your wheel, you may have to row. Yeah, that's right. There's that puddle that called us out last time. Let me go flat out through here. Yeah, no problem. Let's see, what happens if you... Wow. That's pretty fun. I just thought I'd just test that to see what happens if you run all the way around the inside where that puddle was. Yeah, it's hair raising. Well, I do love how it's got the aquaplaning in there. It does feel like you do. If you hit a puddle in real life going at that kind of speed, you do feel the car kind of lift and move around a little bit. And that's exactly what you feel like when you go through a puddle on this. Just forget how much you actually have to drive this thing, because you just flat out for the rest of the lap. Okay, let's add some cars in then. We might not do it in the rain, or should we? No, we won't. We'll do it in the dry, give ourselves a chance. But yeah, so Marty's saying that there's not an easy choice when it comes to DD. There's a lot more option these days. I remember, it wasn't too long ago when the only option for going direct drive was to do an OSW wheel, or a pre-built one, or build one yourself, and that was about it. And then all of a sudden, Fanatec brought one out. Simicube created the Simicube 2, and we've got now Logitech DDs. We have Moser wheels. We have Camus racing wheels, and there's just so many more options for a direct drive wheel these days. The AccuForce as well is another one, the VRS one, which is basically an OSW. Yeah, there's so many options in terms of wheelbases now. So yeah, making that decision is a difficult one. I mean, the easiest way to do it is just say go Simicube 2, because that is pretty much known as being the industry standard when it comes to DD wheels. But there are other alternatives which do just as good a job. So yeah. Right, let's go into a race here, shall we? Drop the GT4 Merc. Let's go over here. We are, and we'll go to Monza. Chicane, that's the one. All right. Same class. Yep, that's good. All right. Let's load in. So yeah, Marty, you're having to build 2 rigs, aren't you? One for you, one for the girlfriend. Yeah, that's you got a big job on your hands there, Marty. You got lots going on. But yeah, you can imagine how cool that would look that once you've got them both set up side by side. Yeah, probably pretty close to identical, I suppose, running the same equipment maybe, but yeah, that's cool. And actually, just catching up, I've done a video on the MSIM pedals, but I know another brand that are better. Matt says, wait and see, keep your money for now. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, the MSIM ones do sound quite good. I have to have a look at them, see what they look like. But either way, let's go. Let's have a look here. We're in P12, starting this one. Middle of the grid. So we're going to have cars front, cars back, and on the side, and we're going to be going into the banking on the first lap. Is it the first time? Or no, we think we start off on the main circuit, then we do inside, I think. Yes, we do. Okay, so we're going regular Monza layout first, and then we jump onto the banking. So things may have calmed down when we get to that point. Rolling start, which is a bit odd for F1 cars, but never mind. And we're away. For a flat-out blast around Monza. I got squeezed onto the grass. Okay, well, they're taking it flat. So now we're getting to the slipstream battles here at Monza, which is what you'd normally find around the Italian circuit. But this is kind of taken to the extreme because you don't have chicanes breaking things up. You also don't have an overactive right foot. Alright, okay, that's given us some breathing room as we go onto the banking, so let's see what happens. We've got an angry pack behind us, though. Oh, there's some people taking the low line there as well. No, that's going to work out for them. Seemingly better. Let's go down here. I wouldn't have thought to go down that low. Normally I would have stayed up on the banking and carried the momentum, but it seems to work quite well down low. Let's repeat that same trick into here. Oh, here we go. We've got a big run going on. Look at them bouncing around. Sparks flying. 3-4 wide up in front. Oh, there's just nowhere to go. We'll just sit here in this train, shall we? I'm just kind of expecting to have to brake for turn 1, but I don't have to. Ducked out of that early. That's close to the wall. Would the Group C cars beat this around here, says Frankie? I don't know, not sure what the top speeds are on the Group C cars. We're currently sitting at 206 miles an hour. With tyres everywhere waiting to just launch you into the air. And speaking of launching, there you go, guys. That was for you. That's insane. I'm gonna go again because kind of want to give a bit more of that mad slipstreaming a go. Too much of a jump on the start. You know, for some extra jeopardy, perhaps we should do this with 200% damage on as well. Load it up. Let's go. AI cheer me up to block you. Yeah, looks like it. Oh, that's not the time for a snap of oversteer. Or a snap of the wrists. How bad are we? Damage, I think we're okay. Right. Let's try and get on terms with me. getting beaten up. Right, I'm gonna go again. Come on, we can do this. It's just flat out. What's the problem? Why are we struggling so much? Right, this time I won't nerf the back of the car ahead with a lightning start. We'll just split the gap in the middle instead. Right. This time, let's see if we can survive lap 1. Well, I suppose if we wanted to survive lap 1, we just go defensive and not throw out the inside like we have been doing. But, for the sake of you guys, let's get stuck in. Wow, that's fast through that. Elbows out, Phil, says Marty. Thanks, Marty, for the $2. Appreciate it. I'll need the elbows. I'll put the $2 towards some elbow pads. Okay, we got a good run here. Got some space down the outside. Remember to get it slowed down for Parabolica. And we didn't spin on the exit. Even better. Alright, down low then. Let's see what we can do. Make this 5 wide, shall we? Wow, somehow we managed to get through that. Hit them all. You can see green arrows everywhere behind me. And breathe. Okay. Wow! Leaves me thinking we got away. Nope. Oh, there we go. Wow. Sitting duck. Just sit in the middle of the track here and let's defend our position. One thing's for sure, you can take that second Lesmo flat, but you do need to be accurate on your turning, otherwise if you miss it by half a metre or more, you have to get out of the throttle, otherwise you're in the wall on the exit. It's just insane. Right. Slowest corner on the track. There was a plan all along just to get the slipstream back. Track limits, I must have knocked some cones over. Didn't think track limits existed back in the 70s. Anything goes. Right. 3 wide, let's make it 4. Slipstream is strong. Let's try and break it down the straight. No lifting, it's banned. Anyone get a feeling you're being hunted? Okay. Lap 3, come on. Let's try and keep our position. They seem to be quite good on the brake, so... But they're also not afraid of having a go, so we need to be ready for that. Right, turn in early. That's it. All the arrows moving on behind me. It's almost like proper oval racing where you have to stay on your line. You can't be taking racing lines going outside to win. You've got to stay in your kind of your groove, otherwise end up crossing over people. Okay, slipstream is ours once again. Let's see if there's any more cars coming past us on the banking. Literally everywhere. It's got to keep the wheel as straight as possible. No sudden movements. This one on the right, I can just about see his front wheel. Everyone's staying pretty close together, which is good. Right, lap 4. A long lap here at Monza, even though you are flat out the entire way. Of course, probably playing into all this as well is the battery levels that we're having. And the battery usage, because I think we are depleted when it comes to batteries now. There's nowhere to regen because you're only braking twice. And that's not for very long either. So I wish I could see the active multiplayer servers on AMS2 without using the clients. Yeah, so like a list of current servers without being in the game. Okay, so we're currently sitting in P2. Let's regain the lead, shall we? This is like extreme oval racing, so oval racing itself is quite challenging and quite fun strategically and driving-wise, but this is oval racing taken to the next level. So you've got the regular oval, which we're obviously flat out around, but then you have some other corners you have to negotiate, so it's still pack racing because you've got cars everywhere. Wow, I had some real lift off then on one of those bumps. Felt the thing take off. And again. I mean, look at them all, they're just all jostling for position. Final lap coming up then. Let's see if we can hold on to this lead, which isn't much of a lead. I mean, oval racing with cars and trucks, yeah? Yeah. That's a different kind of extreme oval racing. Also just as fun. Wow, we've managed to keep our position into the Lesmos, which is the first. Oh no! Stuffers! No! Okay. Drive through them. Oh, Funky, thank you very much for the £5. Meeting friends for a drink. You do have friends. I don't doubt that you haven't got friends. Have a great evening. Thank you for joining us. I'll get this win for you, Funky. This is for Funky. It's the curve on the inside there. It's a dirt oval and possibly rallycross coming to MS2. Yeah, so they had rallycross in the original Automobilista, so it'd be good to get that reintroduced. But I'm not sure about dirt oval. I've not heard that, but that'd be cool. Do like a bit of dirt oval. So here we go. Coming out of the banking for the final time. Can we hold on to the win? It's going to be close. There, that's for you, Funky. We did it. Well, that's quite an intense race, actually, to be honest. I mean, there's a fair amount of concentration, even though your foot is welded to the floor on the throttle for most of the lap. It still requires a good amount of concentration because you've got to be so aware of everyone around you and just keeping the wheel from making any sudden movements over the bumps. So that's fun. So yes, a modern day F1 car can handle old day Monza and race on it quite well. So yeah, good fun. Right. Well, that pretty much sums up our evening. That's pretty much all I had planned for this evening. So just to kind of showcase some of the older tracks on AMS2, and if you can race well with the more modern cars on AMS2. And yes, you can. You can have good races on any of the tracks. And as you can see, some of them are a little bit more chaotic than others. But yeah, the historic tracks on AMS2 are really worth checking out because, you know, you don't get them in every sim. And sometimes, you know, it's great driving the modern stuff and you know, the tracks that we know and watch, and that's all good. But sometimes it's nice to appreciate the heritage and where those circuits have come from, and just the different layouts and how they've evolved over the years. And the historic circuits on AMS2 are really well done. They're nicely detailed and they are good representations of the history of motorsport. So definitely worth checking out if you've not driven any of the classic circuits before now. But yeah, I encourage you to do that. But yeah, you can drive them in any car. So obviously it's better in the historic cars because that's more period and kind of more realistic, I suppose you could say. But don't let that stop you. You can drive in whatever you feel like you want to drive. If you're a modern day GT fan, go drive one of those anywhere, and it works. So yeah, it's good. Hope you had fun this evening. I had fun driving those cars. But that pretty much does us for the evening. I once again appreciate all you guys and for your support, which has really helped us as a channel to come to be where we are now. And it's not past me that it's because of you guys of where we've become. And with the news that's coming in very soon, I'm sure you'll be excited just as much as I'm excited to have this new stage for Sim Racing Bible. And yeah, it's going to be fun. So just to catch up on what you guys have been saying just before we close off here. So when he says, I would expect no less, Phil. We'll catch the rest of the replay later, everyone. It's good to see you. So Marty says, Kevin just can't remember what the upcoming DLC actually contains. Yeah, there's a few other bits and pieces. There's a couple of bits for the USA pack. So we have the modern day IndyCar, which is still to come. Some tracks as well. And there's going to be some really cool features coming up. I think we have like an adrenaline pack, which is where the off-road stuff is going to come in. I'm hoping they're going to reintroduce the Stadium Super Trucks as well. That would be really good because they were in AMS1. So Kevin says, no, Riser gone a bit quiet, probably having a little holiday after all the work needed for 1.4. Yeah, we've not seen anything off Riser for a little while, and you know, I can completely understand that. If they've been working really hard on AMS2 with the updates, and what they've put out is really, really good. Yeah, I know they're working flat out anyway with all the different things, and I'm sure there's an update coming at some point, but we just have to be a little bit more patient for a little while longer, and then we'll be able to see what they've been working on. I'm sure it's pure gold anyway. But But yeah, thanks guys for the support this evening, for those who've donated, for those who've maybe subscribed, which I've not seen. If you've liked the video, that'd be even better to help get the video out there so more people can see it. But once again, just thank you guys for all your support. You are absolutely amazing, every one of you. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be back very, very soon. Hopefully we'll be able to get a video out to you in the coming week, maybe. We will see how that progresses. But if not, we'll be back for our regular live stream next Saturday, I believe we should be on. Yep, we will be on. I was just thinking because there's one coming up where we will be not around on the Saturday, so we'll do a Friday stream instead. But next Saturday we will be back live once again. So we look forward to seeing you next time, but take care of yourselves. Have a great rest of your weekend. Have a wonderful week ahead, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.